Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in. Welcome to the show. This is chocolate milkshake, protein powder. I'm not going to show you the brand because I'm not being sponsored by them and I'm not going to give them free publicity. But if you shop in Vitamin Shop, which is where I got this, and or if you're one of the corporate executives watching this show, you can contact me. I try other protein supplements from time to time, but I always come back to this one. I always come back to Vitamin Shop. So, as you know, I don't generally use a blender. I like to stir the protein into half and half, combined with water, and it tastes more like food than a drink. Actually, I like mixing it in Greek yogurt, plain, unflavored. Tastes great. Okay. So, before we get to today's topic, I just want to give you a heads up. Hopefully, starting with the next video, I'm going to start doing a series of 15-minute workout, I guess you could call them vignettes, because my workouts generally take about 45 minutes or so. So these 15-minute workouts are going to be a compression of my own workouts. So there's not that many exercises. It's just going to be the way we do them. Just always, excuse me, remember, the body only works three ways. It pushes, it pulls, and it squats. There's a lot of variations, but that's generally how the body works. So you don't need that many exercises. And I'll be able to put together several different kinds of workouts, but they will all last for about 15 minutes. You'd be surprised how much work you can get done in 15 minutes. And I'll show you how that's done. So if you have limited time, you do these workouts a couple of times a week. I'll be doing the actual workout. It's not going to be a demonstration. I'll actually be working out. So you can follow along at your leisure. So so I'm going to start doing those hopefully with the next video. If I was going to write a book about bodybuilding, I would title the book Bodybuilding, Nothing Works and Everything Works. This proves it. So what is this? Okay, so today we have the internet, we have YouTube. All the information about physical culture over the last 100 years is on YouTube. In all different variations, history of personalities, exercise techniques, exercises. 1001 routines for competitive bodybuilders. It's all there. And like I say, the old saying, nothing works and everything works. So it's just a matter of experimentation. Now, the gateway to this wide world of weight training were the muscle magazines. So back in the day, before there was YouTube, there were the muscle magazines. Now, the muscle magazines were both a blessing and a curse. The blessing is that if you were fortunate enough as a young man between the ages of, say, 14 and I'll go as high as 21, that's the basic demographic back in the day, um, you pick up a muscle magazine, you open it up, and you get hit with the pixie dust. It's kind of a visceral reaction, and it's it's aimed obviously at the male ego. Nothing wrong with um, being exhorted to get strong and to develop the muscles of your body. Be your own little Michelangelo and engage in the sport of bodybuilding. So, yeah, so it's all experimentation. There is a certain amount of science involved, and there's the magazines. If you're a good detective, you'll be able to sift through a lot of the commercialized propaganda, and you might be able to get enough information for you to be able to work out and put together a training program for yourself. The curse of the Muscle magazine is, well, okay, before I say, another blessing was that the Muscle magazines turned you into a reader. Now, you knew how to read, everybody knows how to read, but not everybody is a reader. So by reading the Muscle magazines, the various magazines, and the articles, which tended to make you think, led you down other pathways, reading books about, certain aspects of physical culture, from biographies of, people, the founders of the sport. And, each sport has its traditions and its history, and so does bodybuilding, weight training, strength training. So, yeah, so the Muscle magazines got you to read, and it turned you into a reader rather than just be somebody that knows how to read. Okay. So from there, you started reading all the newspapers and magazines, and you got interested in other topics like maybe history, and you started reading historical books and that kind of thing. So the curse is was the over glamorization of the sport. You got the impression they take thousands of photos of these guys when they're in top shape, getting ready for competition, and these photos are spread out over, in some cases, several years. And you get the impression that, hey, if I build my body like that, I'm going to look like that all the time. No, no. And it takes a tremendous amount of hard work. Once you enter the land of Oz, you're going down a rabbit hole. You have been chosen, and if you know what you're doing, you can achieve a tremendous amount of success at this without drugs. Leave drugs alone. You don't need them. Puberty lasts till you're about 22 years of age. If you're 14 years old, that's 8 years. You put on an average of 10 pounds of muscle a year. You can do that easily without drugs. You just have to train hard. So by the time you're 22 years old, you go from a boy of 120 pounds to a 200-pound man of all muscle. All right. Now, people will tell you, man, you should compete. You should compete. You look good, man. Now you might want to consider taking some extra supplementation. But no. And so there was a lot of BS, a lot of so much commercialization. It was kind of a joke after a while. But the pictures were nice, the photos of the guys training and the contest reports and all of that. Yeah, there was a certain amount of glamour involved, and for certain people involved, it led to even higher achievements. If you had the genetics and you were in the right place at the right time, like Arnold, for example. And now, by contrast, there was a magazine that you could only get by subscription. It was the old Iron Man magazine, which was, couldn't find it on the newsstand. The magazine came out every 2 months, and it was, what was charming about it was all in black and white. The stories, the photos, okay. Also, somebody once said, I don't want to take credit for this, somebody once said that the muscle magazines were written for 14-year-olds who wanted to be bodybuilders, whereas the Iron Man magazine was written for grown men who happened to be bodybuilders. So these articles are, these magazines go back only about 60 years. I have another stack that goes back to the 50s, but it's not relevant. I mean, everything is in here. So what I want to do is read some of these articles from time to time, because you'll say to yourself, you know, where have I heard that before? As like I said, there's nothing new under the sun. And just to give you some idea, two of the people who, among the distinguished writers, were Arthur Jones, who invented the Nautilus machines, and Vince Gironda. They wrote extensively for Iron Man in the realm of physical training and strength training. Vince Gironda is known for two sayings. One is, dumbbells may be dumb, but you have to be smart to know how to use them. His other saying was, bodybuilders are like jewelers. Their bodies are like diamonds, which they cut into facets. And he's also known for a classic greeting to Arnold Schwarzenegger. When Arnold first got to California, he headed straight to Vince's gym because he heard Vince was the trainer of champions. Vince Gironda actually had a gym in Hollywood. He was a bodybuilder, but before that he was a stuntman in Hollywood. He was an acrobat and a gymnast, and he had a lot of connections in Hollywood, and the studios would send their stars to Vince to get them in shape for movies. One of Vince's star clients was Clint Eastwood, so, and there were other stars that he trained. But and anyway, when Arnold got to California and went to Vince's gym, he introduced himself. Hello, I'm Arnold Schwarzenegger, And at that time, Arnold was already a two-time Mr. Universe. So Vince said, nice to meet you, but you're fat. You need to lose about 25 pounds. It's a long story, but Arnold was bulked up to about 250. He was in great shape, but by modern bodybuilding standards, I mean, he needed to shape up a little bit better. And he went on, history. The rest is history. He took a lot of what he learned from Vince to Santa Monica, to the original Gold's Gym, where he made his training headquarters. Anyway, these magazines are just chock full of, and not only information, but I just wanted to mention that Perry Rader, who founded the magazine, he was basically the first one to give play to the women. So there's a lot of articles in here. I bookmarked a lot of stuff. There's a number of articles that are geared towards women, women's powerlifting and weightlifting contests, and all of that. So yeah, the book is, these magazines it's a gold mine of information, and I'll share some of that with you as we go along. So anyway, again, that's about it for now. Take care of yourselves. It's getting a little rough out there. So stay healthy, get strong, and stay safe, and we'll see you next time. Adios.